What's going on, guys? Rank Up Gaming here and welcome back to the video. Today I'm going to start another new series. This one, the name is kind of in the works, but at the moment it is only Sniper Thursday. Obviously the topic of this one will be everything to do with snipers. There is a ton of snipers in Battlefield 1, and seeing as World War 1 was basically dependent on bolt action rifles, that's what the series is going to basically be on. There's so much more I can do in terms of bolt actions and the sniper class in general in Battlefield 1 than previous games, so I thought why not do a whole series on it. Now today for the first episode we're covering the thing that I think is essential when it comes to bolt action rifles and sniping in general. Now when it comes to one-shot kills, there's a few different ways you can do it. The first things to understand are that there's a difference between headshots and body shots. It's pretty obvious to most of you who played FPS games before, but a few of you might not yet realise it. Now headshots will always kill in one shot. That's the same in every Battlefield game, mainly because there's a 2-time multiplier to headshots. So if a gun does over 50 damage and it hits the head, that means it's going to do way above 100 damage, meaning it's going to kill that person. If it does at 50 damage, then it usually does the kill as well, but occasionally there's things where it rounds up, so the damage is actually like 59.2 or something, and then the player actually ends up with 1 health. Usually that's pretty annoying, but it's really rare, and I think they actually changed that when it came to Battlefield 1. So with any sniper rifle, as long as you hit the head, you're always going to kill. It doesn't matter the range, doesn't matter what they have on, unless they're playing as any of the armoured units. No matter what, if you hit the head, they're dead. And now body shots of course are different. Body shots will always do 100% damage. If a rifle says it's going to do 80 damage at this distance, it's going to do 80 damage. No question about it. But that doesn't mean in terms of 100% damage that it's always going to kill. Of course if it does 80 damage, there's no multiplier. It's not going to do one-shot kill because a character has 100 damage, or 100 health points even. Now one problem we had in Battlefield 4, of course, there was the defensive perk where you could take more damage than chest shots to sniper rifles. This was a nightmare because you get that perfect shot with the sniper rifle straight in the chest, the easiest shot to get realistically. You deserve the kill. But no, because they have the defensive perk, you don't get the kill and they carry on. This was extremely annoying. I'm glad they've moved it in Battlefield 1. Of course, the armor unit, you can still shoot him in the chest, he won't die instantly, and I believe the rest of the elite units, you can do the same thing and they won't die either. But that makes sense because they are elite units. Now in terms of one-shot kills, the number one thing that's changed in Battlefield 1 is the fact there is more now of a dynamic. The reason this has changed up, or the way it's changed up, is I mentioned this before, there are now sweet spots where if you hit somebody in this certain distance, you will kill them with 100% damage every single time. Now every gun has more of a unique sweet spot. Not all of them are the same, some of them are really far out, some of them are pretty close, and of course some of them are in the middle range. Now basically the sweet spot, whenever you hit somebody in the chest or of course the head, you're always going to do 100% damage, or 100 damage total. Basically meaning if you can hit somebody in this sweet spot, they will die as long as you hit them in the chest. Now a good way to get an understanding of this, if you go and look at Simflic.com, they have all the weapon stats of different ones. They have the sweet spots, the damage stats, the rate of fire, stuff like that, and it's a huge website. And if you actually look at the stats on there, you can see for something like the Gewehr 98, it does 80 damage up to 60 meters, then 100 damage between 80 to 120 meters. And of course it goes back down to 80 again. But if you hit somebody in that 80 to 120 meters, you're actually going to get a one-shot kill as long as you hit them in the chest. If we take a look then at the Lee Enfield as well, it does 80 damage until 30 meters, then 100 damage between 40 and 75 meters. So this one is a lot closer. This is more of a close range sort of aggressive recon weapon as opposed to the Gewehr 98, which is more of a long distance one. Now there's two oddballs to this, and the first one is the Gewehr 95. This is a rifle I like, but it doesn't really have a sweet spot. It does 90 damage up to 20 meters, and that decreases then rapidly as it goes down. And I find this pretty odd, because what is the point of this rifle then if all the other ones are better, and they can actually kill on that sweet spot rather than doing 90 damage and they're technically. And in the other one then, the Russian 1985 trench variant is of course more of a trench weapon, it has a faster rate of fire, things like that, but it starts at 79 damage and then rapidly decreases. So again, what's the point of that one if you have to hit the head? You might as well pick the others. They might be slower, but hell, they're going to kill in one shot. So personally, for me, although I do like the Mauser Gewehr 95, mainly because I can't yet get the 98, which I think is a classic rifle and I can't wait to use, I really would avoid these ones. Don't bother getting them, don't bother buying them, unless you think, hey, they look pretty cool. And mainly, the rest of the Russian 1895 variants are fine. It's just the trench seriously has a weak spot to it. Now of course when you're using any rifle, any scope or any iron sights, you always want to go for the headshots. That is guaranteed one-shot kill if you can hit the head, of course, unless it's the elite units. So you're always going to go for the headshot regardless of what you're using, what scope, where you are. Always aim for the head. And the sweet spots themselves can be hard to find. You can see in some of this gameplay, I'm really sort of working out where it is, and I miss a lot of shots where they don't actually kill in one shot, but I feel like it's in the range, and it's really hard then to find that perfect distance where you do actually get that one shot kill to the chest. But of course I would recommend that once you know where it is, to remember it, keep memory of it, and then use that rifle a lot, because you know exactly where it's going to get a one shot kill. In terms of using the bipod as well, it's somewhat helpful, but I personally don't like the fact that I don't have to stay stationary. I'm more of an aggressive recon player. I'll be running around, getting all the shots I can, rather than staying in one position and just putting shots down range, hoping that one will eventually hit. Now hopefully you did enjoy this video. I really want to do this series, Sniper Thursday. I really enjoy sniping, especially when it's done well. It is something that is really fun, and I really hope everybody else can understand it as well. Especially in Battlefield 1, like I said, where there are so many snipers, the scout class has changed so much. I think it's something that we really need to look at. But hopefully you did enjoy the video. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Rank Up Gaming, out.